All right, cool. Studio. Everybody, welcome back to Kruse Control. It is Tuesday, February 14th, 2023. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day. Welcome to Kruse Control, the home of entertainment news. I am your host, Brian Kruse. Thank you for coming back here again tonight on this special Valentine's Day edition. And joining me, as always, is my co-host, Miss Sabrina Vittori. Sabrina, welcome back to the program. How are you doing tonight?
Hi, wonderful. How are you?
Doing good. Hopefully we don't have any ghost stuff happening today and the program works well. We had a slight thing in the beginning, but it's okay now. Hey, JR, welcome back to the program. Thanks for tuning in tonight. And joining us again this time for the second time on Kruse Control is Miss Rachel Blakely. Rachel, welcome back to the program. How you doing tonight?
Hey there. Happy to be back. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on tonight, especially I was a little bit last notice tonight, so we were kind of all over the place with this Valentine's Day edition, so thank you for being here. Really appreciate you tuning in and being here tonight to join us in this conversation. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I was going to be in the chat
Monday?
anyway.
Yeah, well, it's that you're here now, right? It's even better.
Yeah.
How was your day so far?
Pretty good. Just worked and then this.
Nice. A normal average Valentine's Day. Sabrina, how's your day today? Is it pretty good?
Yeah, so far so good. I really love my job, so I can't really complain.
Nice.
It's a little traffic, but I enjoy working, so I'm happy.
That's LA for you. Anyways, it's time to dive into it as always. So now it's time for some breaking news. like that, Rachel. That's pretty good. So today we're going to talk about, as we always do, a bunch of random things. But the first thing that came up today, I started laughing, was about Barney. So I think I'm a little bit too old for Barney. I just kind of missed him a little bit. But Barney's coming back, everybody. Barney is coming back. Mattel announced actually on Monday, so yesterday, that's relaunching the franchise built around the purple dinosaur Barney. Except this time, there's no man or woman in a suit. There's nobody in a suit. It's going to be an actual animated series debuting in 2024. And Barney's coming back to entertain kids or maybe scare some. I don't know. I mean, he kind of scared me a little bit. I think, like I said, I was too old. But Barney is coming back. With Barney coming back, and this I laughed about too. I had to do this today. I guess Megan and Machine Gun Kelly might be breaking up. Megan Fox. I don't really care about this, honestly. But I heard about this.
No one does.
And I needed something that was going away. So apparently they might be breaking it off. She took off her wedding ring and she took down all their photos from Instagram. So maybe they're done, everybody. If that really matters to anybody out there, the people that love Machine Gun Kelly and love Megan Fox, well, their relationship might be done. Barney, what it says, Barney liked, he did some serious, yeah, Barney, I think he was actually helping kids take drugs and actually take care of kids. I don't know. Hopefully not, Barney. Hopefully not. Well, with Barney and with Machine Gun Kelly and all that, I want to talk about Ted Lasso, something that is coming back. So we finally have the announcement that's coming out March 15th. Ted Lasso will finally be dropping on Apple TV Plus. And they're going to be debuting on Wednesday. We got 12 episodes for the third season, which again is its final season. So, well, as they were saying before, it's the end of this chapter. And I think a lot of these, the cast members would come back if there's an opportunity. But the thing is, they said that the story's going to be done here with three seasons. So, unfortunately, if you're a big fan of Ted Lasso, that might be it. So, March 13th, mark it on your calendars. Ted Lasso is coming back. And with Ted Lasso coming back, I want to talk about something else going away, and that's James Corden. Now he's going away because the Late Late Show is going away. That's right. He's decided to step down. He said in April he's going to be done with this. He wants to go back home to the UK. Doesn't want to do this anymore. He doesn't want to, accept all this money and be a big famous talk show host. So I don't know what he's going to do now. I guess he's like, whatever. And so they're like, well, instead of like replacing him now, they're just going to replace him. Well, I mean, if they're another host, they're going to replace him with another show. They're going to reboot the comic panel game show called At Midnight, which apparently is a show where they do internet-themed questions with 3 comedian guests. And they had 600 episodes before on Comedy Central, but now they're going to actually reboot this show. Stephen Colbert's behind it too. It's coming up. It's going to take up that time slot. No more Late Show because James Corden decided not to have that money anymore.
Honestly, great. I'm so sick of looking at James Corden.
I'm going to go to you too about that too. Like, right? Like, what do you expect that they would actually replace him? I mean, come on, Rachel. Do you think this just makes sense? Like, just end this show.
I'm either way, he's off the TV and that's great. Like, replace him with a different comedian, replace the show entirely. It doesn't make much of a difference to me. I don't have cable. So
the curse has been lifted. Yeah, I mean,
I hope he also saves restaurants because apparently he's a giant douchebag as well to serve.
He's been trying to make up for that, but it's hard to do that once you get there. Yeah,
he's only trying to make up for it because he got busted and banned from a restaurant. Okay, if he didn't get busted and banned, he would still be behaving exactly the same way at every restaurant he went to. I guarantee you that.
It's very true. Absolutely. It's very true, and that's what happened. Damage control because they have to. Good riddance, GR says. Yeah, honestly, I never really got into the show. I watched it a little bit. I would say maybe the people that were like actually helping him, his side personality was really great, and the band was awesome. But beyond that, whatever. I still like the carpool karaoke. That's great. But I don't know. This isn't a big loss for me, really, and I don't think it's a big loss for everybody. It's such a late time slot as it is. Like, what's it really matter? So, c'est la vie. Goodbye to him. And goodbye to the Late Late Show. If you were a big fan, sorry, it's going away. With that going away, I want to talk about U2. So U2 is coming back in a way. They're going to be in Vegas now, everybody. They're going to start doing their own show in Vegas. They're going to be at the MSG Sphere. It's going to start happening, and they're going to be, their residencies happening. We've had all these residencies starting in Vegas. Well, this fall, you're going to get some U2 coming back, making the residency. We don't really know how long, but for them, I think it makes sense. Really, what's U2 doing these days besides they don't have a lot of music besides releasing music to your, remember they had the iPad, was their iPod? They released a bunch of music straight to your iPod and made it download to your Apple and iTunes music, and they made you listen to their album. So, that was the last album I've heard of that they've actually had. So, I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing them live, but it might be a good thing for Vegas. They don't really have a lot of residencies now. So, U2 is going to take that spot, and they're going to take over Vegas. So, if you like U2, go to Vegas this fall. And with that, the M&Ms are coming back, everybody. Now, we talked about this briefly, how the M&Ms were disappearing and Maya Rudolph was taking over for the campaign. They were canceling them. There were so many issues with, are they sexy? Are they too sexy? How do people feel about the boots that the green M&Ms wearing? Well, apparently, they're bringing them back. Short-lived campaign for Maya Rudolph. They actually had a commercial on the Super Bowl where the red M&Ms I can't believe we were actually put on pause. And, well, just for a tiny second. And they're coming back because... to me, it feels like it was a whole campaign to me, right? This feels like this was all planned. We'll take them away. We'll create some interest in M&Ms again, and then we'll have some better sales and bring Maya Rudolph in for a short-lived campaign. And I love her, but come on, her as a spokesperson for M&Ms, you got to have the M&Ms, right? You can't not have the M&Ms. What do you think, Sabrina? What do you think about that? You think this is surprising that they're back already?
The whole thing is confusing, honestly. What? You said I love Maya Rudolph, but no matter who you picked, it doesn't matter. No one is going to be the M&Ms. They have been around since the dawn of time. I don't know why you would ever fuck with that. It's it doesn't make any sense to me. It is a little bit weird that they're coming back immediately. What they didn't get good reception over the one commercial they did with Maya Rudolph. I don't really understand what all this is about, but I don't really think they ever should have gone anywhere. So I guess I support them coming back. It's confusing. And also, who gives a shit?
I think it was 100% just a publicity. Absolutely.
Because
everyone was talking about it for a whole week or whatever while they were gone. And they're just kind of bringing them back. They were always going to. It was like when they killed Mr. Peanut.
Oh, Mr. Peanut. Just trying to get
people. Wait, is Mr. Peanut dead?
Mr. Peanut was dead. He's not dead.
Is he alive again?
He's
back?
He's resurrected.
What? Wait a minute. I can't.
I'm sorry to traumatize you about Mr. Peanut.
Too much for me to handle.
Yeah, Mr. Peanut, he had a short-lived death, but I'm happy he's still alive, right? He found his way back to us.
Right.
They come right back.
After a certain while, you need to have something like that.
Trolling Tucker Carlson, and it's hilarious.
It's pretty much true. Honestly. But the fact is, this just seems like publicity to me. It worked out for the Super Bowl. They brought him right back. They were saying all the ads were going to be all new for the Super Bowl with the M&Ms gone and Maya Rudolph there. And they're still on the ads, and they were having fun with it. So they can't get rid of them. They're coming back, everybody. And Maya Rudolph, she's saying goodbye. But I bet she got paid well for that limited, kind of release of ads she had coming out. So that's pretty good, But I'm happy they're back. Keep the M&Ms. And with that, too, I want to talk about Deadpool 3, because we have some news about Deadpool 3. Well, Emma Corrin has landed the role at Marvel Studios to be in Deadpool 3. Now, you say, who is this? Now, she's best known for a role as Lady Diana Spencer in Season 4 of Netflix The Crown, earning a Golden Globe and Critics' Choice Awards, as well as a SAG and Emmy nominations. So she signed on to be a part of Deadpool 3. They're saying she's going to be a villain of some sort. That's all they're really saying. Of course, this movie doesn't come out for quite a bit of time now. I think it's coming out of fall of 2024. So these little things are going to happen with casting announcements. She's coming in. It'll be great. A female lead sounds great to me for Deadpool 3, especially since you already have so much masculinity between Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman as it is. So you got to throw somebody in the mix there, right? So I hear this. I'm like, well, she seems like a great actress. I think she'll be great for this. And we'll just see what her role's going to be. Maybe a mutant. I don't know. No idea. This is so far away that we won't know for a while. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm interested. I'm very interested.
Actually playing Lady Diana Spencer again.
That would be actually hilarious. If they just, just throw her in there like that. She does such a great job. And then they have to pull her through the multiverse or something to keep her alive. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Nothing surprised me, whatever that Ryan Reynolds would do. They're going to have a fun time with that movie regardless. There'll be a lot of jokes in that. So, and I think it's going to lead to Wolverine, Hugh Jackman doing more. I just think so. I think he's going to love it so much. He hasn't been doing a Marvel movie like that before. I mean, before the Fox Marvel movies aren't the same. And he's going to get that Marvel money, going to get that Marvel experience, going to get that Wolverine costume. I think I'll be hooked for at least one more after this. That's my prediction. Only time will tell.
Logan was a really good way to go out, but I am glad he's coming back to do this.
Yeah, the thing is that will not be tampered with. He will still have his ending in Logan. That's still going to happen.
Everyone can do everything they want now because of the multiverse and the timelines. It's all bullshit. It's ridiculous. Like, just stop. But at the same time, I love him and I'm glad he's back. But Logan really was a good way to go out, honestly.
Yeah.
For him and Patrick Stewart. Like, it was such a good movie and so different than like all their usual superhero movies. Like, it was, I don't know, it was so good. But I am 100% glad he's coming back because I love him and I love Ryan Reynolds and I love Deadpool. So I can't wait to see what they're going to do.
And Patrick Stewart says he's on standby for that movie too. Apparently they
Stop
reached
it
out
right
to him
now.
already. So Patrick Stewart
maybe
might
Lady
be in that
Diana
movie too.
is going to be married to Patrick Stewart and he'll be Picard, and then we'll
There we go.
Why not?
Just completely jump the shark entirely.
Totally. We're just going to bring it all into the same universe. We're really going to fuck with the multiverse right here. That's what we're going to do.
I'd be down for that. I really would. I think that'd be hilarious. I mean, I love Patrick Stewart, so let's make that happen. Come on, let's make it happen, or something with him. Just regardless, he's awesome. Another movie that's happening and moving forward is called The Astronaut. And this is something I heard about. When I hear about movies like this that sound fascinating, I have to talk about it. So The Astronaut, it was Emma Roberts with Lawrence Fishburne. Now, apparently they're going to start production later this year in Ireland. And it's about Roberts, who plays an astronaut who was found miraculously alive in a punctured capsule floating deep in the coast of the Atlantic Ocean.
Plays an astronaut? Please
An
stop.
astronaut.
I can't.
An astronaut. I'm just saying. They find her in a capsule. Right? And then you got Fishburne comes in and he arranges for her to be placed in intensive NASA surveillance in a high security house for rehabilitation and medical testing. But apparently they're worried that aliens are following her back to Earth. So I heard about this and I'm like, okay, yeah, I think it's interesting. I don't know. Emma Roberts is an astronaut. Do we believe this? Rachel, do you believe this? Could she be an astronaut?
I think that pretty women can also be very smart women. I don't like Emma Roberts as a actress, like as a person. Like, I hear she's like a really abusive person, both in intimate relationships and on set. So I'm not thrilled about that casting just in general.
I know. But her and Evan Peters went through some rough stuff apparently between their relationship. So that went on for a long time, but it just didn't work out, you know? So I don't know. Like, her as an astronaut, I love Lawrence Fishburne though. I'm like, I love him. Maybe he'll be good in this. I don't know. I thought it was an interesting premise, but Lexi's like, this sounds terrible. Yeah, I'm not 100% sold on it. I'm really not. But with this, I also want to talk about The Mandalorian a little bit because The Mandalorian's in news because it's starting March 1st, coming out. The Super Bowl commercial aired. Finally get some more Mando and some more Baby Yoda, or Grogu, if you will. So I thought it was interesting. So he did an interview recently about Mandalorian, and he was saying about the whole costume and the experience. He said it's like putting on a head-to-toe glove with weights on it, Pascal said. The ironic part is that you can't see any facial expressions because he's put into this world so completely, and it instantly makes the character feel real, but you can't see shit, he says. Which is, we talked about him in The Mask. He said they continue to finesse the suit, though, to make it more comfortable, but it's like going blind. And you can breathe completely, your breath completely fogs up the narrow slit that you can see through in your peripheral vision. So I think it's funny that he's doing an interview talking about this because so many people have talked about how he's not actually in the suit that much. Like, it's very rare you find him in the suit. Like, season 3, apparently he's not in the suit at all. So I don't know. Rachel, you hear about this. Do you think he's kind of complaining in public a little bit, but making light of it? Or do you think that he actually, is just like having fun talking about the experience?
I mean, it probably sucks a little bit, but also this is kind of what you signed up for with the role. It doesn't seem like it's incredibly painful. Like, it's a minor inconvenience at worst.
I know, to get paid, money to be a superhero, while to be a a Star Wars character, which is amazing.
Right.
That's loved across the board by millions of people. A little difficult sometimes to be an actor. It is. You go through some kind of, problems with the
cry me
costumes,
a fucking
with the
river.
weather.
Oh, it's so hard to be an actor. Shut the fuck up.
You do. You have issues like that. There are on the job issues, but overall, I think like this is minute compared to like the experience that you're having and the money you're being paid, and just the idea of being somebody that's so, immersed in pop culture. Sabrina, how do you feel about him complaining about this? Well, he's not really complaining. He's making light of the situation.
I think he's talking about it because he's justifying the fact that people know he's not in that fucking suit this season. So he's trying to explain to you why in like a fun way so that you don't think he's a douchebag. That's what I think is happening, honestly. And I've seen many interviews with him, and he does seem like a really cool fucking dude. I just think like every actor in the world, it's like myself included, you're an actor for a reason, and the reason is because you're not normal, and you probably have some sort of a attention, like need for attention, or like need for validation, or like some sort of insecurity that would greatly be helped by millions of people fucking loving you. And he very, very obviously, very, very much needs that attention. And so I think that's why he's so upset you can't see his pretty face while he's mandoing. Even though he has been in a million shows and a million movies, it's like everyone knows it's you. Like, rein it in and wear the fucking suit. It's like, just come on. Like Brendan Fraser doesn't wear or doesn't do the suit stuff in Doom Patrol. He makes it very clear that he doesn't do it. He applauds the guy who does do it, and he doesn't bitch and moan about it. Like, this is what you signed up for. And if you don't want to be in the suit anymore, instead of being like, oh, I don't want to be in the suit because it's foggy and it's heavy and it's like, oh my God, then just say the person who is in the suit all the time, props to you, bro, because it's a lot. And thank you so much for doing that. Like, just stop being a dick about it. Like, just rein it in. This is your job. And you know what? How much money he's getting paid to be fucking Mandalorian? Like, are you kidding? Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Please stop.
And that's the thing.
I can't.
You
If I was
take on
getting
the
paid
character.
scale to work every day for the duration of that show, you could put me underneath all of the Mandalorian suits and just like have me speaking out of a hole 20,000 leagues beneath the earth, and I'd be thrilled.
And look at all like the background players and the stunt people that are actually wearing these costumes, or even more prosthetics and stuff to make, all these Star Wars creatures. And they're in these for 12 hours a day a lot of times, multiple days. And they're getting paid barely anything compared to like what he is. At least like the background players, stunt guys and stunt women, like they get paid a lot more, of course. But it's not like there's a lot of background players that just don't get paid anything. And they have more of a right to complain, maybe, but I mean, it's still. I mean, you're making art, you're having fun. Isn't this what you want to do? And you signed up to be Mandalorian, and I love his performance. I love him in The Last of Us too. I still think that's funny that like you have masks in the game, but there's no masks in the actual TV series. And Sabrina and I joke about that, being like, he's like, I'll do the show, but no fucking mask.
There's no way I'm wearing
it.
a gas mask. It's not gonna happen.
He just wants more 20-year-old girls to keep making those fan cam videos on TikTok.
I've not seen those. Are they pretty good?
My boss's daughter, you
so
just
funny.
saw one. My daughter, Eden, Goldie's daughter just sent me one. I showed it to you 20 minutes ago.
Oh, that's what that is, huh?
Yes.
That's what that is?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm like, what the hell is this? He's like dancing and stuff, and we're like cowboy outfits, but like fighter
unrelated.
pilot stuff.
They put the music under it, and they like do all the like thirst trappy shots, like.
Completely unrelated. I was watching Pedro Pascal videos for a solid hour today. Didn't even know that we were going to be talking about him, and I saw many of those TikToks today.
Yeah.
And as Lexi says, respect the love of the character you're playing. Yes, I mean like the lore, not the love, the lore. Respect the lore. Yes, respect the lore. Like and the love. Yeah, respect the love too. Come on, you're Mandalorian. And honestly, I was thinking about it today. I just watched like the Super Bowl commercial again, and I was just like at the trailer, and I was like, it's so great, this show. It's so amazing. It's probably one of the best Star Wars things we've had. Like, it so fits into the original world, and it just feels real. And the way they have these stages too, where it blows my mind still. I want to work on one of these stages where it's completely 3D, or it's like, or it's three-dimensional around. It's like it's completely around you, completely up and down. You walk into the sound stage and it feels like you're actually on a planet, like these planets, or you're flying through space because they have LED screens completely around you, 360. It's insane. And it's like, to do that, to experience that, to get into a plane and it actually feels like the stars are flying by and you're flying as an actor, it's amazing. You can never get that experience anywhere else. It's fantastic. And a lot of actors for a long time had to look at a green box or a blue box and be like, oh, that's the character I'm talking to, as opposed to actually having the characters right there in real life talking to you and being immersed in that world. It's an amazing experience he's part of, and it's unfortunate that he doesn't want to be there on set every day. I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. I'm happy these people are getting their actual like acknowledgement that they're playing Mandalorian as well. There's 2 people playing the Mandalorian along with him, and they should be getting props because it's a lot of work, and you're playing the character too. So, actors will complain about acting. That's just what happens a lot of times because end of the day, we all have bad days at work. We do. Even if it's the best glamorous job in the world, you're still going to have things to complain about. Everybody has a complaint. That's just what it is. But you have something to say there, Sabrina?
No, I'm just saying, like, it's super annoying, and like for people to complain about like one of the most like well-paid and glamorous jobs in the world. Like I worked on a show where the lead actress literally said to the PA at like 5:45 in the morning that working on the show is like being in a concentration camp. Like,
whoa.
Are you fucking serious? You have to be at work at 5 in the morning. You sit in a chair where people do your hair and your makeup, and then you go to wardrobe and they dress you up, and then you go and you get paid to do the thing that you so-called love, and you're gonna say some fucked up shit like that. Like, I don't understand like the amount of entitlement and the fact that like you should be grateful every day that you like. I work at a camera lens house. I love my job. I'm happy to go to work every day. If I was acting on set, I would love to go to work every day even more. But like, like for you to be ungrateful and complaining that you have to get up at the crack of dawn for people to dote on you and make everything that you want happen. Oh, I don't like that hair over here. Can you please put it over there? Okay, great. Or, oh, I don't like this mascara. And like literally the world revolves around you as an actor when you're on set, especially when you're the star of a show. So I just think that people
you're number one.
Need to complain a little bit fucking less, be a little bit more grateful, and try to put your life in perspective. You know what I mean? Like it's just a lot to me.
Another person that people are kind of going nuts about right now is Rihanna. So Rihanna actually, everyone probably saw if you watched the Super Bowl. Apparently everybody watched the Super Bowl because it was like 113 million people watched it, which is insane. Like, how is it even possible? But apparently her records, or her Spotify actually, because we don't really have records anymore, do we? It jumped up like 640%, which is freaking nuts. But that's what happens. She hasn't been in the limelight for a while. I mean, 7 years away from the spotlight, having a kid. Now you're having a second kid, of course. This was the big announcement during the actual live show. Like, hey, I'm pregnant again. Of course, people are going to be like, Rihanna, going through it. And if you weren't a fan before, maybe you liked the music. Maybe it's been 7 years. Maybe it's the first time you've heard some of her stuff. There's people out there. My mother's one of them. So maybe you heard it and you're like, I'm going to go to Spotify and see what she's all about, So for her, it's like a big comeback for her. Of course, she's going to go away now because she's having another kid. But it's huge. It's huge numbers. Let's go with Rachel. Rachel, what do you think about the Super Bowl? Did you see the halftime performance, and what do you think about Rihanna coming back?
I didn't watch the show. I just watched the performance on YouTube later.
Oh, yeah.
We aren't football people in this house, and that's fine.
It's totally fine.
But I think it was an interesting show. It wasn't I feel like it kind of missed some of the hallmarks of a normal Super Bowl halftime show. You didn't have like the surprise second musician or anything like that. So I think it could have done a little bit more. And I've seen a lot of commentary about how the little like white guys in suits look like little sperm running around.
I didn't hear that.
There were choices made.
Yeah.
It wasn't my favorite halftime show.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I agree with you. Like, honestly, like, it's great, she came back and all. I loved her starting up in the very top and then coming down and then ending going up. But overall, I'm like, where was the surprise? Like, at least somebody should have come out. Something should have happened. It just seemed like, she's going through the numbers almost to me. And you're right, the color schemes were weird. I mean, the red, I had someone say something about the red to me too today that was really gross. I am not going to repeat it. And I was just like, I'm like, what? I mean, she's just tapping her foot. You know, the thing is, people expect her the halftime performance to be this huge, elaborate thing, lots of dancing and moving, and it couldn't have been that. I mean, props to her to go out there to be like, I think she's like 5 months pregnant and actually do it.
Right.
Props to her. A lot of people wouldn't do that, you know. Props to her, but at the end of the day, they could have like the fact that they knew that she was pregnant, they could have incorporated more people. I wanted Eminem to pop up. That would have been great, you know. But then again, he was there last year, so maybe you wouldn't want to do that.
Right.
You know, Sabrina, what do you think about it? You saw the halftime performance. Oh, Rachel, what do you got?
Maybe she found out she was pregnant after they scheduled her, in which case I feel like they could have just like moved her to the following year or something.
Yeah.
Like if she wasn't feeling up to doing it, because like being pregnant is hard. It's hard on the body, and I think she just had another kid like not too long ago, so it's like a back-to-back pregnancy.
Yeah.
So maybe she could have just kind of taken the time off and let her body gestate instead of doing a Super Bowl.
I heard that she signed on actually right after last year's Super Bowl, so it was kind of known that this was happening. And you know, she's a great performer. She really is. But it's one of those things that there's controversy, of course, over always. People are like, I remember we were watching it, and like the people in the room were like, "Is she pregnant?" And everyone was like, "Is she pregnant?" And you go online, and everyone's tweeting that too. How long did it take for someone during your Super Bowl party to ask you if Rihanna was pregnant? 1 second? 2 seconds? Sabrina, you saw this. What do you think about her performance, and what do you think about her coming back in this form?
I mean, honestly, I was excited for it until I saw it. Like maybe my expectations were too high. Maybe like I don't know. I like Rihanna. She hasn't had an album or performed in like 7 years. So like it just the choice of her being the halftime performer, I think was odd. You know what I mean? Like just coming and it's not that she's promoting an album or anything. I mean, I guess she's promoting pregnancy, which good for you. But I just thought it was a weird choice. And I was looking forward to it. Obviously, I didn't know she was pregnant. No one knew she was pregnant. So I guess I expected more like Rihanna type shit, which I really didn't get. She lip synced the fuck out of all of the songs. Maybe there might have been one moment where she sang, and that was not my favorite. Which I don't even like. I don't care if you lip sync. Usually people do lip sync because they're doing all this like balls to the wall choreography, but she basically was just like standing with a sway. She could have probably sang. Like, I don't know if she needed to lip sync. That was kind of not my favorite. I didn't mind the sperm. The sperm were cool, I guess.
The sperm were cool.
My problem was, I guess, last year's halftime performance. I really, 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 really enjoyed. Like that whole 90s hip hop, 2000 hip hop vibe was like really my jam. It was so good. There were so many people.
A lot of fun.
I like the flow, between the artists, and like I guess maybe my expectations were really high because of that, and that's a hard act to follow. So
yeah, and Lexi was saying it's very, very Kanye West circa 2002, which
the clothes.
The clothes, yeah, very, very much so. But I mean, the thing
is Kanye who you want to be referencing in any sort of way visually in 2022?
Especially not fashion wise. Like nothing he ever has done fashion wise has been cool.
Yeah, and she should have a voice track, and that's what Jukebox is saying. Yeah, she had a voice track. A lot of artists do though. They have a backup vocal type thing, and then they sing along with it. And you could tell
mostly because they're like doing like 13 minutes of heavy hardcore dancing, and you couldn't possibly sing through that. But she was basically just kind of standing there with a little bit of work. Like that's it. I mean, I don't know why she couldn't sing. I really don't.
Well,
do not compare Kanye to Rihanna in any form.
Yeah, that's like fighting words right there. That's what that is. That is totally fighting words.
Her clothes is something that Kanye probably wore last week, honestly. Like I think he has that jacket in black and he like wears it regularly. Like I'm just saying. She also did like a weird like Fenty like makeup ad mid performance, which was slightly weird. Like that was a little bit weird. Like, what was that about? They're like, she didn't get paid. I'm like, I bet you she got paid, for that makeup ad she did in the middle of the thing. But that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like that, I bet you're getting paid for that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's weird.
100%.
But you don't get paid to do the halftime show. No one gets paid, not just her. No one gets paid to do a halftime show.
Which I thought was very interesting. I thought they did, but I guess it's just for I mean, the love of music doing it, the honor of
prestige.
doing it, the prestige. Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's a huge thing to do.
And
It's
the
like how
record
many
sales
big artists.
skyrocket. Like last
Yep.
year after the Super Bowl, if you ask like ALEXA, I don't want to say because she's in the room, or Spotify to play like hip hop of any kind, the very first song that came up every single time for a solid 6 months was Dr. Dre. Solid.
Yeah, it's very
and
true.
the second song was usually Snoop Dogg. I know because I often would ask both of those things, people, devices to play 90s hip hop or 2000s hip hop or just plain old hip hop. And it shifted and was always Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg were one of the one and two, always, every time for at least 6 months. So now everyone's like the start of this article or the start of this conversation is the fact that her, Spotify streams and her Apple Music streams and everything had jumped, because of this. It's the same type of thing. Like you're not getting paid by the network or by NFL, by the channel, but you are getting paid. You know what I mean? It's going to boost your sales and it's going to, bring you more exposure for sure.
And now you'll hear a lot of Rihanna probably when you're actually asking your ALEXA to play a hip hop song, of course, because everything's jumped up. But as we were talking about Kanye West, who's very, hated and has a lot of controversy behind him, another big controversial thing that's come back up in the news is Rust. And, it keeps coming up because, of course, it keeps, all these things keep developing. Well, now, today they're saying they are going to go back into production. Even though Alec Baldwin is being charged and the armorer is being charged, they're like, okay, well, we're going to hopefully start shooting again in the spring. And I'm like, I don't know how this is going to happen, especially with these legal charges. Bianca Klein, who was actually the one, she's coming back, whose recent credits as a cinematographer, she did like With Shoes On is called, but she's going to be the cinematographer now, so that's a new cinematographer. Same producers are coming on board, same directors coming on board. Everyone's pretty much coming back.
Who also got shot, by the way.
And they're saying, okay, we're still going to complete this film. It's going to happen. To me, I'm kind of surprised that they're just not letting this lie, especially if Alec Baldwin has legal charges he's got to deal with. How can he actually shoot? How are they going to make it happen? Maybe they're hoping that it'll all blow over by then, but I don't know. Rachel, you've heard about this a lot, probably. What's your thought? I think we actually talked about this last time you were on, which is kind of hilarious. I think maybe I don't know. I think we talked about this so many times. But what do you think about what's happened so far with Alec Baldwin and the whole production of Rust?
I think it's a really complicated issue. I think there's a lot of hands in the basket and a lot of different responsibility to take place for it. I don't think there's any singular person for my uneducated perspective, to be fair, because I have not worked on that kind of set. The only time I've ever been on a set per se was for like a reality show as an extra. So I think there's a lot going on with prop management and stuff, that the ball was dropped. And of course, anytime you're working with any sort of weapon that could have live ammunition, you need to like check it before you do it. So I just think it's a really complicated issue, and I think it's kind of too soon to pick up the development of that film again.
Does it surprise you though? I mean, it surprises me that they would actually like start or talk about starting right now, especially everything that's been developing in the news recently. It's like,
Right.
I mean, who's the person that's like, let's pull the trigger and just keep pushing forward? To me, it just doesn't seem like it's like they're in the right mindset. Like take a minute, take a beat, wait some time, and then we'll see if we can finish this movie, because you might not even have your lead actor right now.
Did you literally just pull the trigger in a Rust conversation?
I don't think you meant to.
I don't think I meant to. No, I don't even know what I said.
You're like, whoever said let's pull the trigger on starting this production again. I was like, what?
Yeah, it's probably the worst term to say, or the worst, wording to say with this, but yeah. I mean, you got a new cinematographer on board. I don't know. It does seem like you just leave it alone right now,
From your perspective, if you were working on a film and you were mortally wounded and died, would you want them to still produce and finish that film that you had died making as a filmmaker?
Good question.
Well, that's the thing. And I think that for me, if it's especially it's your last film, I mean, you want it. I mean, I would want it out there. I would want it out there, because it is like, product of your work, especially as an actor. It's like your last thing. And a lot of times people will scream for that. If an actor dies, like look at the Crow. It's like people wanted that still, you know, and it's his last performance. So for me as an actor, of course, I want people to see my work. Now, if there's not enough footage where it's actually going to be me doing it, then maybe it just lies in the editing floor, you know, because it's not done enough to do it. There's certain times where you can do it. I think it's fine. Like they with Paul Walker with the Fast and Furious. I think that works because most of his stuff was shot already. You bring in his brother. You can do a little bit that, you know, the face swapping out and stuff, face offing, and you can make it work, you know. So I think that situation works with this. So I just don't know. Like not enough is done to me. It is her last work. So yeah, I get it. Like you would want her product out there, but I just think there's just so much controversy with this. This is one of those things that just let lie for me. But as an artist, I get it. I would feel that way. Sabrina, what do you think? Would you want this to come out like for her, or do you think that it should just be put to the sideline?
I'm not against it getting finished at some point. I just think like while charges were just announced for involuntary manslaughter amongst two crew members, one of whom is a producer and a star, it just seems a little bit premature. And they had initially made a statement in October of last year saying that they were going to start shooting in January, which obviously has come and gone. So this is the second time that they've, you know, threatened reproduction or continuing production. So I don't know if they're just trying to keep it in the news and not only in the negative way that it's being portrayed because of the charges. But I think the weirdest thing for me is that her husband, Helena Hutchinson's husband, who is now an executive producer on the film and settled out of court for the wrongful death suit, is like their family made a statement in this whole thing where they're like totally on board with the fact that they're getting charged after they settled out of court, you know, for monetary dispensation and also compensation, excuse me, and also for him becoming an executive producer on the film. You know, so I think that is a little bit of an odd development. And I think that it is absolutely too soon to continue production on this. I mean, there are a lot of moving parts and you know, most notably the fact that two people involved, one which you really can't avoid unless you recast, are going to be held up in court for a minute dealing with this situation. So I think it's a little bit nuts, honestly.
Yeah, to me, it's just there's too much going on right now to be dealing with actually talking about shooting, the filming, I should say, filming. That we should
Right.
again, fuck me tonight, you know, but filming
Sorry.
that maybe we let this lie for a second, and then you know after everything's done and the court cases are dealt with and whatever happens, however the cards fall, then we talk about finishing the movie. You can talk about, you know, trying to find a new cinematographer and all that. That's great and all, but again, there's too much going on with this right now, I think, for us to be
The
talking about
director
filming.
also was shot and injured, and he's
ready to come
He's
back
like, I'm ready to
and
go.
rock and
Like,
roll.
what?
Yeah.
He's
But
like
with bad
brushing
news,
off.
I don't want to keep dwelling on this. We'll bring it up some more once there's more information about it. But let's talk about something kind of fun, and it's also interesting to think about. So apparently Steven Spielberg did an interview where he was actually up to direct Harry Potter, and he was going to do the very first one and to actually take over a bunch of them and be the main person behind Harry Potter. And he turned it down. He said that there was a time in his life where he was raising his children in Los Angeles. It was about being with his kids or going to London and giving up a bunch of their childhood. Then he said, you know, 4 or 5 months at a time, he wouldn't see his family. He'd be ripped away from that actual fatherhood experience to the point where he's like, I had to turn it down. Even though like Spielberg doing Harry Potter seems insane to me, I think it could have been really cool to see what his vision would have been. I think about, you know, how well he deals with children in general. You think about E.T., you think about even that Super 8 was kind of inspired, he produced it, but like the way he deals with children, I think it could have been really cool. And his directing skills are awesome. But then again, the movies are so phenomenal, I don't really know if they needed him. Rachel, what do you think? Do you think this was a good idea that they didn't go with Spielberg, that he actually stepped down, they got different directors? Or do you think it would have been cool if Spielberg would have directed Harry Potter? Harry Potter!
I truly think that Steven Spielberg can direct literally anything. After seeing West Side Story, when they announced that, I was like, he's doing a musical? He can do a musical? And then it came out and it was fantastic. So I truly believe that he has the capability to make anything into a fantastic film. Do I think it was a good choice for him to not take it in the long run? Yes. Just because I don't think he wants to be associated with the current branding of Harry Potter, and the anti-Semitism that has come out of it is not really his brand.
Yeah.
Doesn't really align well with Schindler's List.
Yeah.
So I think he, in hindsight, would be very glad he didn't take it. Not only because he got to spend the time with his kids, but because of everything with that whole brand at this point.
Yeah, and JK too, she came out recently and said that people were, misquoting her, and, she was like, my true story is going to come out. And I'm like, it's just too much. It's too much, and it affected the whole franchise. And it's supposed to be a fun thing, and it's just, Spielberg's probably happy he's not attached to it. That's all I can say at this point. It was probably just better that he chose where he was going. Sabrina, what do you think? Could you imagine a world where Spielberg directed this?
I might have watched it if you directed it. I'll say that. I certainly did not watch. I tried to watch Harry Potter 74 times. I fell asleep every time. I saw the car fly up to a window at some point, and I was like, and now I'm napping. I don't know. It was like almost as hard for me to get through as Lord of the Rings. Sorry if that makes me unpopular. It just was a lot for me. And I didn't read the books. I was too old for the books. I think it came out. I was like, not really at the age where I would have read the books. And so the movie, and also then the movie came out, not reading the books. I'm like, I feel like I'm just like a little bit old for this, which I know is very strange to hear since I watch all these stupid superhero movies and seemingly enjoy them immensely. But Harry Potter is just not for me. If Steven Spielberg did it, I think I may have been more inclined. But again, wildly successful franchise. I don't think that it mattered for the franchise. And it certainly didn't matter for him. His career is amazing. Again, he is up for the first time in his career, Best Writer, or Best Original Screenplay for Fabelmans, and also Best Director for Fabelmans. His career honestly could not have gone any better. So I don't think it affects either the franchise or him as a director. I do think it would be interesting to see what he would have done with it. But, aside from that, I don't think it really makes a difference, honestly.
I would like to have seen him direct the Twilight movies personally.
That would have been something. That would have been
or Hunger Games. He could have done a really good job with Hunger Games.
That is not even
sarcastic.
How dare you entangle him with Twilight? That's like a Rihanna and Kanye situation for me. Don't do it.
I think it would have been completely different though if he did Twilight. I think he would have been like trying to change the source material a lot. He'd have been like, "Why are they sparkling? They don't need to be sparkling. We don't need to do that."
Those movies are cinematic masterpieces.
I have unfortunately seen them all. I have unfortunately throughout the time they came out, just people I was with, dates and stuff like that. I unfortunately saw them all, and they didn't get better as they went along. I thought they would. And
even the last one tried to take me to see Twilight on a date, I would be like, "And we're breaking up." So
hence why we did. It didn't work out. Anybody I was with that I went on those, it did not work out. And I was like, let's go, I guess, and at the very end where they didn't all die, but they died in their mind, I'm like, what a cop-out. I don't know.
Watching that in the theater at the midnight premiere was absolutely fucking insane. I never read the books. I didn't give a shit about the series that much. Like, me and my friends went as like a joke consistently to a few of the openings because it was the mid 2000s. What else the fuck are you doing?
I know, right? Everyone's like, let's go see Twilight. It's all big. Everybody's talking about it. Let's go see it. Why not?
And people absolutely lost their minds in that scene. It was so funny. So funny.
Well, I know, because it's like there's this huge epic battle, and I'm finally like, yes, something big is happening. And then they're like, oh, that would happen if we fought. Maybe we shouldn't fight, guys. Okay.
I do love Twilight, Lexi. Twilight. It's a camp masterpiece. It is a comedy masterpiece.
Boom.
Called out. Look at that. Called out.
And you know what? as problematic as Stephanie Meyer is, she doesn't hate trans people. So
See, there you go.
she's
Better
automatically
win right
better
there.
than JKR.
Yeah, JK.
I was just gonna say,
Jeez,
wasn't
JK.
that another thing with her too? Like she seems like an extremely problematic person. This JK Rawlings.
Yeah, well, like I said, she's trying to play some shit. She got a podcast coming out saying, "Oh, I misunderstood." I'm like, bullshit. Sit down, calm down, bitch. I'm sorry. Go away. We love your material, but just shut up. Just get out of here.
I used to be
That's all
very
I'm saying.
impressed with her as a person. Like she was living in her car and shit, and then wrote these novels and became this but then it seems like the more you learn about her, the worse she gets. Like she's just not a good human. She's not a good human.
She spends millions and millions and millions of dollars on anti-trans legislation, pushing in the UK, and it's truly disgusting. And it's morally reprehensible to support the series at this point because of how bad it's gotten. And even if you want to say, hey, let's separate the art from the artist, that can't happen when the artist is alive, for one. But two, the source material, like I said earlier, is heavily anti-Semitic. They use the imagery of 1940s or 1930s Nazi propaganda to base the images of the goblins off of. It's
oh wow,
it's gross.
Yeah.
She somehow skirted around all of the transphobic shit a few years back when it first came to fruition and this Fantastic Beasts shit was going on. I don't want to say skirted, but she somehow was able to not get canceled, quote unquote, which I guess is a thing. And they still allowed those movies. Then there was the controversy around Johnny Depp, and they fired him, and they brought in who's that guy? They brought in the guy from Hannibal,
Mads Mikkelsen.
Because of his controversy. But what about her controversy? I don't really know how she got around that. And now there's this whole thing. I don't know. She's got to be Illuminati at the highest fucking level or some shit. I don't know how she's been able to squeeze by.
Childhood
without
culture is so fucking strong that people are willing to overlook marginalized communities being shit on entirely. I worked at Universal
because of that. You think?
Yeah.
You think that's what it is?
Yeah. When I worked at Universal in Orlando,
off-putting.
I was in vacation sales, and the number one thing that people went to Universal for was for the Harry Potter areas. That was their number one selling point. And in their new park, Epic Universe, even still with everything going on, they're going to build a Harry Potter area.
Wow. I will say this. Brian loves Universal here. Mm-hmm. And we both had season passes. And so it would be a random Sunday. Well, let's just go to Universal. And where would we go? To the butterbeer capital of the world, whatever there. And
the butterbeer is disgusting there, by the way.
Well, whatever.
Yeah,
did you say butterbeer was disgusting?
It was disgusting at Universal, yes. Have you had it there? It's disgusting.
I was at the one in Orlando all the time because I worked for the company, so I got in for free.
And you like the butterbeer?
I like the butterbeer. The hot butterbeer and the cold butterbeer are good. The frozen butterbeer is trash.
Okay. I don't know. I had one. Maybe I had the frozen one, but I had it and I was like, I can't do this. I'm like, I wanted to be alcoholic. Maybe that's why. I wanted to be super alcoholic and it wasn't. But they had Fireball there.
Chicken with a side of grapes, and there was a spider encased in a web on my grapes.
Yeah.
So after that, I never ate or drank in that Harry Potter barn again. I was done. Party's over. Take your wand and shove it up your ass.
I'm done with Harry Potter.
I literally was it looks like in the grapes. I'm like, I'm an arachnophobic. This is not. No.
Me too. Mm-hmm. I do not like that scene in the Forbidden Journey ride where they put you face to face to the giant spiders. Not a fan of that.
Spider jumps at you. Yeah.
Is that
she
the
doesn't
VR
like that
one
either.
where you're on the thing?
It's the
you're moving through the castle and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you sit on the thing and it's like a VR. It's all not VR, but it's what you know what I'm talking about.
It's a mixture. It's a mixture of it. It's with practical and
what are the angry things in the capes that come in?
The Mentors.
Yeah, they come, right? Yeah. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah. There's giant spiders in that ride too. It's gross and awful.
Yeah, that ride breaks down every time you get on it, so I don't really know that I was ever scared because it just breaks down every 10 minutes.
One more time with that.
She gets her licensing in bulk from the theme parks, though. So, like, honestly, go ride the ride if you're there. She's not getting any money from that she hasn't already gotten. But if you buy merchandise, it goes right to her. So don't buy the merch.
Yeah, I'm not buying merchandise, but I am riding the ride, so that's good. Yeah. So that's
I like
good to
the
know.
roller coaster, the good old wooden roller coaster, much better than that nonsense.
Well, speaking of Harry Potter and Warner Brothers, that leads us to our featured story of the night. Woo! All right. So I want to talk some more about Warner Brothers as we're wrapping up here tonight. And so we've talked about HBO Max a bunch and about how they've been kind of taking content off, putting it over on other networks that are ad revenue and they're ad tier based as opposed to being subscription based. Well, now, apparently, the rumor going around now is that WB is going to launch their own ad tier network. So they're going to be a free web-based platform that's ad tier, not going to have to pay for. They're doing their own thing. They're going to call it WB TV. So this is going to be coming out, and they'll be moving a lot of their content over to the WB TV, and they're going to try to compete with the free streaming services like Tubi and with Roku and with Freevee. Every big one that's a V afterwards. They're like, we're going to compete with you because
all the V's.
All the V's they're going to compete with. They expect to move their biggest titles. They'll be leaving HBO Max soon. They'll be moving over to this. So it'll be smaller like content in HBO Max, which is weird. Like they're saying like Friends will move over to this platform, which to me it's like, why? You already have HBO Max. You're making money on this. Why would you not just incorporate an ad tier into HBO Max? Why make a whole new network? To me, it just seems asinine in a lot of ways. So this is something they want to do. I know. What an awful plan. I agree, Lexi. I heard this and I was like, why would you do this? I mean, of course, WB's been making a lot of fucked up mistakes, I would say, in the past while. So this might be a new thing where they're just like, and you think that now they've learned their lesson, but apparently WB TV sounds great to them. They'll probably have the little frog dancing with his top hat, like they used to do back in the day. So this is one of those things they're doing. Apparently it's moving forward. They're working on a program. They probably did. They probably ran him over. But you know what? He shall come back with the Animaniacs WB Tower maybe one day. You never know.
They canceled Animaniacs.
I know they canceled Animaniacs. They put him back in the tower. They're like, get back in there. We'll bring you back in 20 years, I know.
The M&Ms will be there too, in case you guys need to know. There'll be
the
M&Ms.
last season just came out on Hulu. So, I mean, yeah, put him back in the tower. Rachel, you hear about this? What do you think? You think this is dumb, or do you think this is a good way for them to make more money? I don't know.
I think it's bad for customers. I think it's just, I don't think it's going to be consumer based, honestly. I think, and this might sound conspiratorial, but with the way that they've canceled and pulled completed content for tax write-offs, this could just all be a massive tax scheme. They launch this streaming platform. They go, it failed. We need to write off all the costs of this streaming platform. And then they write off tons and tons and tons of shows that they moved over to the streaming platform, or however they're going to do it. But if it's not that, because that is far-fetched and conspiratorial, admittedly.
I like it, though.
It's just stupid. It's just a stupid thing to do. I'm so tired of these companies piecemealing their content. Can we just agree on like 3 platforms and put everything on there? Like I agree.
So why we gotta have so many places? But that's actually an interesting point, because honestly, it doesn't make any sense if you already have a streaming network to make a new one on top of that. It doesn't make any sense. And they've been moving content to other platforms too. So maybe HBO Max just isn't doing that well. Hence, they had Discovery. Discovery bought it at a loss. Maybe they're just gonna write everything off. And then they'll put everything up there for ad-based tier, and they'll be like, oh, look at this. Now there's less overhead and more money coming in from advertisements. I mean, it could be, because it just seems like they're smoking something, or I don't know what they're doing, What are they doing in that writing room? I don't know. Or in that production room, I don't know. Sabrina, what do you think about this? Do you think this is a good move, or do you think this is just asinine?
I mean, I don't know. I like what Rachel said. That's something that I literally never thought of, and it could be Slightly conspiracy theory-ish, but I don't know. I like it. I like it. So there's that. But also, like, I feel like they're charging you to watch HBO Max, right? So if they can then get like a feather in their cap for like the less like high profile shows to put on, like, oh, we also give you this free shit. Like, I think that they're like, if it's not what Rachel said, which I'm now strongly considering.
I like that.
Yeah, really good. It's a very, very good point. Like, you kind of blew my mind. I'm like, wait, what? So I just feel like it's like, well, yeah, we have HBO Max, but you can also watch, like, Friends and Big Bang Theory and whatever. I mean, I don't even know if Big Bang Theory
Harry
is WB.
Potter.
I'm just saying there's like a bunch of shit that they can offload that's not high profile, that you don't have to pay for if you don't want it. Like, if you just want to binge Friends, or if you just want to, watch like these things that aren't
but if it's a free
obviously The
service,
Last of Us, or shit that they're not going to give you for free. Like, I feel like they're trying to be like, but we also did this for the people who can't afford stuff.
they're
'cause we're
gonna
awesome.
interrupt
It's
it
like,
with
fuck you.
the same Toyota commercial 3 times every 5 minutes. Like,
Oh,
these
yes.
Easily.
sucks so
Absolutely.
bad. I
Absolutely.
hate them so much. I will never stream and I will never binge anything on a free service. I will gladly pay to not watch the same Toyota commercial 5 times in a row.
I
Not the
hate
first
it.
time
You're
I've
right.
heard
They
that.
just go bam, 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 and it's like for like a minute and a half. A lot of times, 2 minutes. And you're like, I've seen this. I've done this. We've gone here. Please just stop. At
No, the
least like
worst is,
some
like, also
services.
that happens when you listen to podcasts too, or listen to like TuneIn. Like, I'll listen to like news or podcasts on TuneIn, and it'll be like literally the same exact AT&T commercial within a 40-minute period of me driving to work, or an hour period of me driving to work. I've heard the same commercial 17 times. It's like,
Yeah.
please, like, please, I'm gonna like drive my car off of a
Please.
cliff if I hear
Right.
it one more time. So I feel
Yeah.
you on that 110%. I don't think I'm not saying it's a good move, but I think, like, maybe if they're not doing what you're saying, which again, really loving that idea, I feel like it could be like, look at us, we're being so cool, we're giving you free stuff. Also, like, I feel like it could also be like that kind of like almost not reverse psychology, but like, yeah, we charge you for this, but we also do this for free. Like, as opposed to Netflix, who was like, we're going to charge you $30 a month in 5 minutes because that's what we do. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's a different approach, or they're trying a different approach.
But it's
Not
odd
saying
that
it's
they're
going to be
actually.
successful.
It's weird they're actually already licensing out a bunch of their material. That's what doesn't make sense. You're like, Westworld went away.
Right, to Tubi and yeah, to all that
Yeah,
shit.
the Tubi and Roku, and they've opened up a whole plan where it's like they want more networks to work with them. They want to open it everywhere. They have a whole platform where it's like easy for you if you're one of these freebie type places where you're like, hey, I want me some HBO. All you gotta do is knock on their door, like, here you go. We take this percentage, you take this percentage. Bam, we're good friends. They got that already set up. So like, what's the point of doing this? And this is
Well,
weird.
because
This
they're
is
not going
something
to do
that's.
that with Friends, or like, these huge
They
big
said
ticket
they
shows
said
that they
that
have.
Friends might go over. They said they might like let Friends go, like something like that. They're saying like the
To
Batman's, maybe
Tubi?
some of the DC stuff they might let go. They might actually try to let some of the DC universe, the Snyder stuff go. That was something they've been
Right.
talking about.
To the WB channel, but not to Tubi or Freevee or whatever
Maybe
the motherfucker.
well,
I
there's
don't
been
even know it.
discussions to go to
Roku,
Freevee and all that shit. All the V's that want
all
it.
the V's. We're back to the V's.
If they
I
wanted to
don't
do
know.
this, why didn't they just buy or acquire something that was already buy Tubi if you really want this stupid ass thing?
Right?
Yeah,
Like
and then just
they
incorporate with
integrate it
that.
somehow. I mean, they're already integrating
Because-
Discovery into HBO Max already. So I
Right,
mean,
but
that's
Tubi
already moving
also
forward.
Tubi runs other shit than just WB. So that's
Right,
where
but they
the
could
conflict of interest
acquire
lies.
the company. Yeah, I don't know, man. They haven't really
the
been doing anything
company-
with non-compete anyway, so I doubt that the government would
That's
block
true.
it.
Yeah.
True.
It just doesn't make any sense to me when I heard this. I'm like, WB, what are you guys doing? What up, people? Happy Valentine's Day. IPA Sessions
Hi,
loves Cruise
Jacob.
Control. Well, we love IPA Sessions as well. It's in Montemori as well. Come on. Check it all out. Good to see you, Jacob, in the chat. Yeah. So, everybody, I don't know what WB is doing. I don't know what they have going on behind closed doors. All we know is what we hear. It trickles out every day. There's always something weird. Here's something else for you to think about. Here's something for you to chew on. We're going to find out what they do next. But to me, WB TV, I say thumbs down. We'll see what happens.
I love that sound effect.
And anyways, Rachel, thank you for joining us here on Valentine's Day. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much
You
for
look
taking some time out of
adorable,
your
by
day.
the way, Rachel.
You
I'm
very
sorry.
much
I was
do,
gonna
yes.
geek out on that earlier. You look so freaking cute. I can't take it. I don't even have
I
to
do
stitch
love
your
the
makeup on.
headphone
You
combo.
look fantastic. Adorable. I love it. Love
We'll
to
have
look
you back
seasonal.
again soon. It's so great.
Seasonally fabulous, girl. I'm loving it.
Sabrina, thank you for being here as well as always.
Of
Appreciate you.
course.
Happy Valentine's Day. Everybody out there in the
You
chat,
as
thank you
well.
for joining. Jacob saying WBTV didn't already have that with CW. It was kind of, yeah, CW was WB before,
Ish.
way back in the day.
WB's not streaming though. Like this is like a streaming platform because that's what's
Yeah.
new.
That's what they're doing. They're like, well, you know, I don't know. We'll find out more when it comes out. We're gonna have to listen and keep everybody posted out there. I think she likes pink. GR says. I agree. Pink is great. Pink looks great on you.
I'm gonna go with pretty and pink.
She also
I'm
likes
gonna say it.
Twilight too, by the way, in case you're wondering. Twilight and pink.
Twilight and pink. That's all you need to know. That's
Done.
my whole brand.
Done.
Nutshell.
Anyways, thank you again, everybody. Enjoy your Valentine's Day with your special one right now. Have a drink, hang out, have some, whatever your favorite meal is, kiss your loved ones, and enjoy your night. Have a great everybody. And we're not going to be here tomorrow because tomorrow Sabrina and I are going to the Ant-Man cast and crew premiere. And so we'll be able to talk about that soon again. Like I've been being hush-hush about Ant-Man for a long time because I worked on it. But more to come with that, everybody. Enjoy your Tuesday night. We'll see you next time on Kruse Control. Take care,
you, guys.
everybody.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. See ya.
Thank you, Rachel.